I think we have to start the session because of time limitation. Day before yesterday, we have discussed about our methods of particular performance appraisal. Under that, we have discussed about the various names and some methods also. Like this was the list of methods of performance appraisal, right? And we have discussed, out of this, we have discussed ranking method, period comparison method, and grading method also, right? And forced force distribution method we have discussed. Grading method we're going to have discussed today. So just start one by one. Now grading method is there. Certain categories of abilities or performance of employees are defined well in advance to fall in certain grades under this method. Such grades are very good, good, average, poor, and very poor. Here, the individual traits and characteristics are identified. So, as per the name only, the grading method is what exactly it means, that the employees are getting certain grading from their seniors or immediate uh, bosses or supervisors or managers, and that basically that grades have uh, plays a very vital role in their performance appraisal. That grades are like here it is mentioned already: very good, good, average, poor, and very poor. Like this, certain individual traits they have got in the form of grading from their seniors, right? Immediate seniors. Like here also on your screen right now, certain examples are given. Like they have certain options like exceptional, exceeds requirement, meets requirement. So like this, uh, many grading skills we can make according to the requirement of the company, and that is the major thing that we all have to understand in this particular point, right? Uh, Same thing is on your screen right now. It's a kind of grading that's defined a particular characteristic of an individual, like uh, unsatisfactory, fair, satisfactory, right? Like this, that the gradings are normally uh, playing a role in a particular performance appraisal. So, for example, if the first thing is here, quantity of work, volume of work under normal working conditions. So, we are basically grading an employee on the point of quantity of work, right? How much work a particular employee has completed in a particular period of time, that is a volume, right? And then based on it, what we have to do, we have to now grade him, like some, like his boss or some seniors have satisfactory, right? Then quality of work, neatness, thoroughness, and accuracy of work, knowledge of job. So next point is on the quality of work, and what are different criteria under that: neatness, toughness, trueness, thoroughness, sorry, then accuracy, and about what, knowledge of job. So here someone has given a particular employee a good, like this, knowledge is there, attitude is there, dependability is there, then cooperation is there. So these are the various factors, right? Like this, normally one form is there of appraisal, and under that particular format, various characteristics are there as per the requirement of the company, and then they have give certain ratings over that requirements, like this particular format that is on your screen right now, right? So this is normally it's an example. Many companies are doing the same procedures, but they have certain different points that are mentioning here, depend upon what kind of uh, and kind of need they have in a particular format, right? So now the next one is checklist. Checklist is what? Checklist is, as per the name, checklist means certain appraisal of the ability of an employee through getting answers for a number of questions is called the method of checklist. These questions are related to the behavior of an employee. So here, what happened? Checklist in the sense, uh, the particular, for again, the particular series of questions are there, and under that particular questions certain options are there according to the need of the company, and that related to the characteristics of an individual employee, right? So what happened? The appraisal of the ability of an employee through getting answers for a number of questions is called the method of checklist. These questions are what? It's related to the behavior of an employee, right? So like this, certain characteristics are there. For example, if you want to evaluate a work of an individual, evaluation is there. Evaluated a work of an individual, we have four options: outstanding, very good, satisfactory, unsatisfactory. So if you're going to have tick on outstanding or very good like this, then it will consider as an checklist, right? So we're going to have get more idea over it, right? So that like this, it is on a screen right now, checklist like this. Certain questions are there. We have on your screen right now, certain questions are there. The first question is, what is the employee satisfied with the job? So that's just an example. We can change this question according to the requirement of the particular company and the basis of performance appraisal. This is just an example that we have taken right now on this particular slide. Is the employee satisfied with the job? Yes, yeah, no. This is just a checklist. For example, yes. Does he finish the job accurately? No, like this. Does he respect the superiors? Yes. Is he ready to accept responsibility? Yes. Does he obey the orders? Yes. So this kind of numbers of questions are there for the particular employee on a particular format for the performance appraisal. So this is called a kind of method that is called checklist, right? Now the next one is forced choice method. In this particular option, as some we already have a discussion of one method over it, right? Uh, so here, a series of groups of statements are prepared positively or negatively under this method. Both these statements describe the characteristics of an employee, but the raters is forced to tick any one of the statements either out of positive statements or out of negative statements. So this particular method is basically why we have called it a forced choice method, because it's not gives a particular rater in the sense, maybe the senior, maybe the immediate boss, maybe the manager, whosoever is rating that particular employee. These people have two options, that is positively and negatively uh, statements, and this positive and negative statement is for the characteristics of an employee, right? And the major thing is what this rater should only have to choose either the positive or negative statement. So if they have feel that that negative statement is more, you can say, more accurate or more feasible for an employee, then they have to choose the negative statement instead of positive statement, right? So this is the major thing that we have to understand here. And the next we're going to have see or things over it also again, like that is right now on your screen, right? format 1 and format 2 here. Choose one of the options following the question and mark your answer on the scale given below the question. So this is one of the example of this particular method. Which of the I'm outgoing, work hard here. Now they'll give the scale. So here uh, is a kind of format that given for the particular characteristics of an individual, right? So these are the kind of methods that we have to be understand, like force choice method. Then this is also one of the example of for the rating of an employee, right? So low, below average, average, above average, and high. Understand department functions, follow directions and company policies without supervision, accuracy skill, completeness, and quality of work performance, right? So here, poorly informed about department functions, has fair knowledge of the department functions, can answer most questions about the department. So you can able to understand from this particular slide that from this particular slide you can able to understand that this particular format is basically it's a forced choice performance evaluation form, and this format have mixed type of responses. Mixed in the sense some format have like this point is what it's somewhat negative point, poorly informed about departmental functions, right? This one also requires constant supervision, seldom meets the requirement of the particular company. So these are the point. Then certain points are positive also. Work is sometimes superior and rarely contains mistakes. So this is rating above, below, average, above average, and high. And this is basically what it's a kind of mix of positive and negative statement that is given to a particular employee, right? Now, next one. Critical incident method. The performance appraisal of an employee is done on the basis of the incidents occurred really to the concerned employee. Some of the events or incidents are given below. Refuse to cooperate with other employees, unwilling to attend further training, got angry over work or with subordinates, suggested a change in the method of production, suggested a procedure to improve the quality of goods. So this particular performance appraisal system is basically based on what? It's basically based on the certain critical incident that related to a particular employee, right? That is the major characteristic, critical incident method. So certain incident basic sorry like this that is shown on your screen, like some of the certain options are there on the format, and based on that incidents we have to choose what kind of characteristics that particular employee have, like refuse to cooperate with other employees, unwilling to attend the further training. So for example, if that particular employee once upon a time in a particular period of time not responded well for the further training, and if that employee is not interested for further training, then what happens? Then superior can take on this. Or maybe in spite of this negative point, if somewhere in a particular period of time, if that employee has suggested certain procedure to improve the quality of the goods also, right? So it doesn't mean that if that employee have certain negative point, then it should not be have certain positive point also. So that is also highlighted under this critical incident method, right? So that is a major characteristics of this method, right? Now next one. This is one of the particular format of critical incident method on your screen right now, right? Example, they given the example, what they given, a fire, sudden breakdown, accident. If that kind of incident happened, then what is the response of that particular employee in that particular incident? So that is the example that you all have to understand. In this method, what we have to understand here, as per the name is given here, what is that critical incident method? So in this method, uh, the employees are giving, or the employees have appraised on the basis of what? The incident that they have responded in a particular period of time. If something has happened in an organization, and based on that incident, what kind of steps a particular employee has took over that time, that is going to be analyzed under this method. That is example given already on your screen. The example is what? A fire or sudden breakdown accident happened in a particular organization. Then first, a worker informed the supervisor immediately at 5 scale. B, become anxious of on loss of output. 4, like this scale is there. Try to repair the machine. 3 is there. Complained for poor maintenance. 2 is there. Was happy to force test. 1 is there, right? So like this. So for example, a worker A is there. So worker A, what he has did on a particular reaction, what the reaction is there of a particular employee, and what is the scale that is going to match for that particular employee. So for example, if I'm talking about C, so C, I have to give this scale of all these reactions, right? For example, I given a C worker 4, like I given this 2, right? The scale is from 1 to 5, right? 5 is for very good response, and 1 is for the very poor response. Like this is like a format we have normally made. Okay. Then graphic rating scale method. Under this method, we have certain scale are there. It is also known as linear rating scale. In this method, the printed appraisal form is used to appraise each employee. The form lists traits such as quality and reliability, and a range of job performance characteristics from unsatisfactory to outstanding for each trait. The rating is done on the basis of the points on the continuum. The common practice is to follow 5-point scale method. So this is basically a kind of process where it's a graphic rating. It means that they have the companies or the managers have prepared certain methods, certain format to rate their employees, and that rating is based on 5-point scale, and like start from unsatisfactory to outstanding, and every particular characteristic of an individual employee is basically judged on the basis of this particular scale only, right? The form list trait has like quality and reliability. What kind of traits that form normally have? That kind of quality that employee have, and what kind of reliability standard that employee have, how much the company should have to reliable over it, and what kind of job performance characteristics that individual have, right? Like this on your screen right now, it's a sample of graphic rating scale method, like quality of work in the accuracy, right, skill and completeness of work. So here they have prepared a 5-point, right, scale, where you can have to choose a one on the basis of a particular point, right? So quality of work, whether is accurate or not, it's this particular uh, uh, point is based on accuracy of the work, skill, and completeness of work. So if you have a satisfactory over that particular point, then you have to consistently superior. You can tick on it, right? Or sometimes superior, or you can even put the consistently satisfactory or unsatisfactory, whatever we're going to have choose over this particular point, right? Like this, quantity of work is the volume of work done in a normal workday. That also a point will come under this particular format. So like this, there are many points that companies are designed for performance appraisal, right? And then these points are going to be have match with the characteristics of an individual, the traits of an employee, and accordingly the performance appraisal ratings is calculated and given to a particular employee, right? Now next, this is all example like job knowledge, how much that particular employee have, dependability is how much, how can we can depend on it, right? Now, field review method, it's a kind of method where employee performance is appraised through an interview between the rater and the immediate superior or superior of a concerned employee, right? The rater asks the superiors questions about the performance of an employee. The personnel department prepares a detailed report on the basis of this collected information. A copy of this report is placed in the personal file of the concerned employee after getting approval from the superior. So it's a kind of method where uh, it's a field review method. Why it is called a field review method? Because here companies are appointing a raters. Companies are appointing the raters, and these raters are what they are doing normally. They are connected with the particular superior, immediate superior, or superior of an employee, on the basis of which they are judging the employee's performance, right? And then these raters have an interview with the superiors and immediate superiors, and during that interview they ask a number of questions related to that employee from that particular superior, and they have collected that information, and on the basis of that information then the appraisal is going to be completed, right? So this is somewhat a very typical method, because in this method the question is going to be asked to the superiors, and the superior should be have very much prepared to answer that detailed report that normally made on the basis of certain questions that they have put it in front of the seniors, right, on the performance of an employee. Okay, so this is called a review method, field review method, right? Now next one is assay evaluation. With this assay evaluation technique, the nurse manager is required to describe the employee's performance over the entire evaluation period by writing a narrative detailing the strength and weaknesses of the appraised. So here what the nurse manager, in the sense the manager that basically taking care of that employee, right? Immediate superiors also, or can be any senior, those have more uh, watchful towards that particular employee, right? These particular employees have normally what they have to do, they have to narrate in detail, they have to write in detail, they have to very much expert over that detailing or narrating of a particular strength and weaknesses of the appraisal, right? So this is also one of the very important method. But in this method, the major thing is what the data or that nurse manager should have that kind of quality to detail the strength and weaknesses of the appraisee, right? Now the peer review method is there. Peer review method is basically a method that that employees are getting the responses or that appraise from the colleagues of a particular employee. Those are working with them, right? The employee selects peers to conduct the evaluation. Usually, two to four peers are identified through a predetermined process. The employee submits a self-evaluation portfolio. The portfolio might describe how he or she met objectives and or predetermined standards during the past evaluation cycle. Supporting materials are including them. So, right here, what happens? This method is like a kind of self-appraisal method. Self-appraisal method in the sense the employee himself or herself has to evaluate their characteristics, right? They have to himself or herself evaluate their characteristics, but not by themselves. What they should have to do, they have to select 2 to 4 peers. Those are working with them, right? And then what they should have to do based on their responses, then they have to evaluate themselves and they have submit the self evaluation portfolio, and the portfolio has going to met certain objective and standard of the company based on past evaluation cycle, right? And whatever the point they have given to themselves based on that peers review, they should also have to support it with certain material. It means that if they have did something, if they have achieved something and they have put it certain positive points over that, then they have to give a support for that also. That what kind of documentations are there that are telling that are revealing that what kind of achievement they have got in a particular period of time, right? So I think we have some more certain methods are there, and right. So we're going to have discuss this method more in our next class, right? And certain other modern methods are also there that we're going to have discussed in our next class, right? Uh, so for today, I'm going to have stopped this class, and I'm going to have share a video in a group also.